off now. Welcome to HackFS. HackFS features 650 hackers across 61 countries and 18 time zones. The judging format will be 4 minutes for demos, 3 minutes for questions, and after the 6th team presents, we'll have a 10-minute break. Judging criteria. The judging criteria will be based off of technicality, originality, practicality, UI, UX, DX, and wow factor. Just keep in mind that this is not a competition. People are here to learn, here to explore what's possible, and not everybody is aiming to become businesses. Hackers are here to get feedback. Here are our judges: Adrian Labaz, East Blockart, and Parneeth Surkanti, Ethereal Ventures. And now for the demos. Up first, we have team meta cards. We'll start off with 4 minutes of demos and followed by 3 minutes of Q&A.
Okay, nice. Thanks. We cannot share our video, not the camera, but maybe just the screen. This must be enough.
I think after we do. Which one's sharing the video?
I'm sharing. I will share the video.
Okay.
This works. The sharing video works, but not the camera. It's fine for you. I can just share anyways. It's okay.
All right. Just share the video. The camera's not really.
Okay, cool. Then.
Hey, If Global, and welcome to our presentation of MetaCards V2. So we are living in the creator economy. Many people are living from the YouTube channels or from the newsletters, Discord servers, and now it's time to bring the whole creator economy to tokens to the Web3 space. So what we have right now are current solutions, ERC20s like with Roll or Rally, and we have custom NFTs, ERC7020s like you have your custom-made NFTs like the Logan Paul ones or the ones by Gary V, the V Friends. And the problem with the ERC20s are they're not personal enough. They're just tokens in your wallet, and yeah, they can be maybe good for DAOs, but if you're a creator, you need something which you can show off in the wallet, what your fans can really be more tangible. So it can be watched in your showcase in your wallet like the NFTs by Logan Paul. But to creating them, you need an artist who does it for you, or you need a system like VFriends, like a website and concept behind it. It's for many people it's taking too much time. So what's the simplest way? And we're thinking here about gamification and using trading cards, which people know as NFTs in the Web3 world. So let me introduce you to our Web3 app, which allows you to create your own trading card collection to unlock exclusive access for your fans. And these are just 3 simple steps. So you enter your data, your name, picture, collection name, quantity, price of the NFT, and later also Twitter verification. You mint on Polygon network, and we minted through unlock protocol. So you can also after this add specific token gated links like to your website or specific Discord channels. Enable specific Discord channels through the possession of NFTs. Once you have done this, you can share the link with your fans and they can mint what works. So let's go to trymetacards.com, our website, and yeah, you see our amazing team. And we now click on button create. We get to the app, to the app. It needs to connect to our wallet. I'm already connected to the Matic network. And now I just select an image. So I select this one. I say Paul, and then it's 2021, and the collection name will be Paul 2021. Description will be exclusive access for my fans. I will set it quantity to 3 and the price very, very low, so it's just for testing, but it's on the mainnet, so it's real money. So yeah, let's do this. Now we pay the fee. Now it's using NFT storage and using unlock protocol to create. We're connecting now the contract to the metadata, so we do this with a second transaction. Now you can see my cards are created, so here is the link which you can share with your fans to buy, basically mint the NFT. And here is the link where you can configure the whole thing in the unlock protocol. You just log in with your wallet. I'm already logged in, and here you can see the collection. You can see there are free keys, basically free NFTs people can mint, and here you can add the functionality, basically put a link behind it, or you can integrate a Discord bot. So now I can just click on mint. It's a success. So this is how it looks like, and now I have a valid NFT. I can see it, of course, on Polygon scan. So I just see it. It's a new token I have 23 seconds ago. Here it is. And also later I will be able to see it on my OpenSea, inside my profile, and also trade it here. So this is all. Thank you very much for your attention, and looking forward to hear your feedback.
So, okay, this is it. Yeah, I would like to hear your feedback, and yeah, I still cannot open the video for you guys, but yeah, I can just talk with you.
Okay, Team Metacards, thanks for your presentation. Now you'll be moving on to 3 minutes of Q&A.
Nate, you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, super cool presentation. Glad to see people get more social elements into NFTs, but yeah, curious as to why you feel like these would be trading cards per se, and why these would want whether you've kind of seen people essentially use this mechanic to kind of yeah, essentially kind of use this mechanic in the NFT space. So yeah, just kind of curious about what creative element this brings when you kind of look at a creator in that regard.
Yeah, sure. So basically, this is a gamification approach here. So we're using the trading card metaphor because it's something people already know from the normal world, and they trade it, and they know, okay, all the football stars, they have a trading card. And of course, when you think about this, all the new stars will be the creators. So why not having the trading cards of the creators? And you already have them. Like there are collections and there are projects which are like so rare, right? Does it the NFTs for the football players? But here we change it and say, okay, you as a creator can mint your own trading cards. There's not a company doing it for you. You do it yourself, and your fans already know how this trading cards and NFTs operate. So basically, it's a very easy access. So it's just basically a simpler representation. And long-term, the idea is also to have it not as a static image, but as a 3D model indeed. So it's like really I can actually show you how it looks like. But yeah.
That's cool. Awesome.
Hey Serge, good to see you again.
Yeah, it's super nice. Hi Adrian. I had the idea already in kernel.
Yeah, totally. Quick question. I remember seeing metacards from some previous hackathons as well, right? So I'm wondering, was there something, I guess, unique they did during HackFS?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So once we did an MVP like a Rinkybi, it was like many months ago. So really differently this time, it's really using this unlock protocol, because we did some interviews and people said, okay, what's the functionality behind it? And we said, okay, let's use it to unlock some content. So, and also we are using now Polygon network because no one wanted to pay the Ethereum fees. So this is basically the big change. And yeah, we rebuilt the whole UI basically. So we haven't used anything from before. It was more like a proof of concept. So we're trying to iterate, every hackathon a little bit more and a little bit better. This is the iterative approach we chose. So yeah, these are the new things. And yeah, we're using NFT storage, of course, for the NFTs.
Cool. I guess last question: is it live on mainnet already?
Is what?
Is it live on mainnet?
Yeah, it's on Polygon mainnet. So if you go now to trymetacards.com, you can use it. Right now, what we will do after the presentations and stuff, we will do some more like fixes to like when your image is not like the proper size and stuff, that it looks better. But basically, when you have the proper size, you can basically just go right now, mint your own collection, call it Adrian Lebras, and say a quantity of 100 cards, and you will have them on Polygon. If I can, I've seen one minute more, maybe I can share here. So basically, this is how they look like on OpenSea. So this is mainnet and this blockchain Polygon, and then you have your card here. And you can basically also sell it and trade it once it's loaded.
And maybe if I can just jump in here. So basically the way it's implemented right now is it just checks what network you have selected in your MetaMask. And then based on that, it just like chooses the network and also updates the UI.
Okay. Any updates you have on the dashboard side, or any particular social links or things that you might want to include for the creator
dashboard?
Yeah.
Well, you can have all the functionality from Unlock protocol basically, and you can hide like either URLs or WordPress or like everything they have here.
Yeah.
Or would you mean something else?
Yeah, essentially all of the support for the plugins in that sense for blogs or WordPress sites or the like, so to speak, in terms of where people like to publish stuff.
Yeah, so for now we're just using the functionality from the Unlock protocol, and later of course you'll see how we can also integrate more now from our own side, right? So this is the plan. And maybe to use like my last few seconds, I just wanted to quickly show you like how this template looks like in 3D. So basically, once we have our vision complete, this is how the cards would look like. But this is a long way to go there.
Nice. Hey, awesome work, man. And
Cool.
Looking forward to see MetaCard evolve.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. And yeah, I thank you if Global that we can work here on it during the hackathon.
Great
Okay.
work, Team Metacards. Okay, now the Zoom admin will demote you to attendees, where you could choose whether you want to hop off the call or continue watching the judging session. Okay. Up next, we have Team Atlantis World. I think they're already in, so yeah. Atlantis World, you'll have 4 minutes to present, followed by 3 minutes of Q&A.
Hi guys, yeah, thank you so much. I will share my screen right away, and I'm also joined by my tech lead Michael and Julio, our game developer.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, there's no audio.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but I think you
okay.
need to present with audio.
Okay, my mistake. Sorry, guys.
No, that's fine.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here. I can't wait to share with you everything that we've been working on over the last couple of weeks with our fantastic team of hackers at HackFS. And we actually started to build a virtual world where you can live, work, play, and earn. So what we kind of identified is that existing virtual worlds can be difficult to load because they have a kind of 3D and immersive focus. There's no token gating, and also there's no DeFi. So what does that mean? Basically, virtual worlds right now are inaccessible because in order to have a seamless loading experience, you need to go out and buy the latest iPad or gaming PC. Token gating is limited to platforms like Discord. And also, because we're not implementing DeFi protocols in a fun and gamified way inside of virtual worlds, we really believe that we're missing out on a key onboarding opportunity for the space as a whole. So we're building the first lightweight metaverse, enabling interactive token-gated community spaces powered by gamified DeFi. How exactly does it look? So we've built a 2D pixel metaverse that's lightweight inside of the web browser. We've started to gamify the Discord kind of chatter and connectivity experience, and we began implementing leading DeFi protocols, starting with Aave in a fun and gamified way. So how exactly does it work? We built the game using Phaser. We stored all of our game assets securely on-chain using IPFS and built a front end for easily adding new assets and modifying the metadata of existing ones. We integrated the Morass API for Wallet Connect and token gating. We started to allow our users to interact with the Aave protocol and made use of their subgraph. We launched everything on Matic mainnet widget that links through to Audius. I've joined by a fantastic team of hackers, starting with Michael in Seoul, who led the tech side, Sega in Mumbai, and Dimitri in the Czech Republic led the blockchain and Web3 development side, and Julio over in Seattle did an excellent job on the game development front. So thanks so much, guys. I'm sure they will look forward to joining you at a live presentation. And anyways, let's get over to the demo right away. So basically, I'm going to log in with MetaMask here, and then every single game asset that you see is actually stored securely on chain using IPFS. In the bottom here is the widget so that users can play songs of their choice in the background. And over here, we have the decentral bank building. Now, this is where we started to implement the Aave protocol. But in the future, we're actually going to do this in a much more fun and gamified way, right? Where a user can actually walk into the central bank building, walk over to the Aave desk and see like a pixel dashboard of these live kind of interest rates and price feeds. We're going to test out a little deposit here anyways, just so that you can see how it works. So as you can see here, an additional DAI has been deposited and converted to an A token in my wallet. So that right there, I've directly interacted with the Aave protocol from inside of Atlantis, and I will start to earn interest on that DAI. So that's fantastic. Yeah, that's everything, guys. Thank you so much. And also an additional point to add is that not only do we store all of the kind of metadata for the game assets on IPFS, but in the game, we're actually loading them directly from IPFS as well.
All right. Thanks for the presentation. Now we're going to Q&A, 3 minutes.
That looks amazing. Congratulations. It's really looks great.
Thank you so much, Adrian. Thank you so much.
I guess one question that I had is more like an open question. There's a lot of like moving parts here, which I think are super exciting, especially integrating like a game engine with all this. Was there like any technical challenge that you faced during the period that was like an interesting challenge, or maybe like a cool integration solution that you think could be made into like its own library maybe?
Yeah, I'd love if Michael wanted to take. Yeah, sure, great.
So we built everything on Phaser, and then we had to integrate all those libraries like Aave protocol, like Audios to Phaser itself. And the most challenging and the recent one was Audios, because they have their kind of virtual player, their kind of widget that we could integrate as HTML web page. We wanted to create something like that will be like written with Phaser code. So we basically made our own widget in game. It took us some time because Audios is not perfect. Some songs are not loading all the time. So we also have to check for each song if it's loaded and stuff. So yeah, it's mainly fight with Audios. Audible. Yeah, Audible.
Yeah,
Audible.
Audios.
Audios. Oh yeah. Oh, I always need some of this. Sorry. Yeah, Audios. But yeah. Besides this, MetaMask login was really easily implemented with Morales API, so it was really great.
That's amazing. And yeah, definitely I can see like a cool plugin there for Audios from like a game engine. Congratulations.
Yeah, later you'll actually be able to log in with your Audios account and listen songs from your library.
I don't know if you guys checked out the game SDK that ChainSafe put out to kind of get in Unity elements in. That might be something that you guys might want to kind of think about or just play around with. But yeah, like this looks awesome. Really cool landscape in that regard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
In that sense, do you plan on extending this to other game developers, or how do you kind of see people shaping out the gameplay, as it were?
Yeah, sure. So I think we have like a kind of continued focus on like making those DeFi integrations a lot more fun and actually gamified, right? So the Aave integration that we have right now is kind of basic, and it's just like a UI opens and then you can kind of exit. For us, we actually want to create this gamified experience that can actually smoothen the kind of onboarding experience into DeFi, because users can interact with those kind of protocols in a gamified way that's engaging, that's educational. And down the line, we also plan to launch a Web3 Academy so that not only can users interact with these protocols in a gamified way, but they can also do so with certain learning modules and without putting any actual funds at risk.
That's really cool.
And then we'd also love to add, like other game elements, like mini games. For example, we're keen to integrate in-game DAO voting. So you can see on the demo, like if you go to our submission page, you can click through to the live link. You'll see like a town hall style building there. What we want to do is take the kind of DAO kind of voting experience from how it is right now to meeting in a token-gated Discord video call, and then exiting to an external platform like DAO House. We want to put that experience inside of a private and exclusive token-gated community space that's in Atlantis. So you'll meet, because we're keen to also integrate video and audio calling. So you'll meet with your DAO members inside of your token-gated Atlantis world space. You'll deliberate on the future of the project, and then without having to exit somewhere external, you can, in a gamified way, wander on over inside of the town hall building and engage in that voting and proposal making right there in like an actual gamified sense. So maybe you walk, for example, to the left side of the room if you want to vote yes, and maybe you walk to the right side of the room if you want to vote no. So it's this whole kind of immersive experience, but in 2D, that's super engaging.
I guess a last comment for me is like, I think what's really special about this, the collaborative element, right? Like, since it's like an actual game world, you can see multiple participants, maybe there's like 10 people currently at the Aave shop or something like that, right? And I think that social element.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we really want to do is like gamify that Discord experience, like, and take chatter for Web3 and crypto projects away from Discord and into this fun game environment that's actually personalized for them.
Very cool, guys. Congrats.
Thank you, man. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, great job, Team Atlantis World. Now the Zoom admin will demote you to attendees, where you could either keep watching or you could leave the Zoom call. Yeah. Okay. No, we're up next. We have Team Neburi. They'll have 4 minutes for the presentations and then 3 minutes for the Q&A.
Hi guys, it's Team Nabari.
Yeah, Team Neburi will be next. Okay, yeah.
Hey Siri, upload to Web3. That's how simple Nabari is. But before we show you the magic, let us tell a bit more about it. We all love to share. Every single minute we upload 45,000 Instagram photos. We watch over 4 million YouTube videos, and we tweet over 400,000 times. Data storage is one of the main focuses of Web3, while achieving great UX is one of its main challenges. We molded these two concepts into our product, Nabari. Nabari is a UI-less storage bridge between iOS and IPFS Filecoin. It's designed to stimulate overall Web3 adoption by using seamless iOS integrations, such as Siri and shortcuts. It's built on top of the exceptional foundation crafted by the application research group, Estuary. I think that's enough for the talking. Let's go over to Gilliam to see a short demo. Enjoy.
All right, first we head over to nabari.com, download the iOS shortcut from Apple's iCloud and add it to the Shortcuts app. Then activate the app by saying, "Hey Siri, upload to Web3." It will open your gallery and ask you to select one or multiple photos or videos that you'd like to share. Here you make your selection and click Add in the top right. And just like that, your media is being uploaded to IPFS, ready to be shared in seconds. A browser window will automatically open with a gallery of your selection, and here you can either share the whole gallery by copying the URL or copy an individual photo by clicking the Copy Image URL button. Since Nabari creates a shareable URL, it is cross-platform and can be opened on any device, on any browser. as seen here on a desktop environment where we view the gallery, or an individual photo that was shared with us. And that's how Nabari works in a nutshell. Thanks for viewing and listening. From me, Gillian Verheijden, and my partner Ryan Shaheen, wishing you a great day.
Thanks everyone. Thanks Jimmy aka Cake for the estuary invite. Have a great day.
Thanks for the presentation, Team Nabari. Now we'll be moving on to the 3 minutes of Q&A.
It was a really cool presentation. Good job, folks.
Thanks.
To clarify, most of the work is around a shortcut workflow, right? There is no Swift or native app involved, right?
No, so for us to create the bridge in a UI-less way, so directly from Siri, the quickest way was to create a shortcut. So we could have made a native app, but there was no reason to. So we were really looking for the most simple way and the most accessible way as well, because shortcuts are open source by default. When you download them from iCloud, you can actually see what's happening, and you can see all the requests, and you can see how the data is being handled. So that's also a benefit of using shortcuts.
Nice, very cool.
Super cool stuff, though. In that sense, I mean, yeah, like storage is something that we've always had, issues in terms of making this accessible in that regard. How are you basically thinking about associating, I guess, accounts, if one might call it that, with all of the files that you kind of basically pin the service to? Are you thinking of introducing permissioning at any point in time where you basically have users files that are accessible only by them or groups of people? Just curious about how you kind of see the future going ahead.
I think that's a great question. I don't know, Gilliam, if you would like to fill in on this one.
Yeah, well, to be honest, we kind of approach this by not integrating any authentication, especially when we started off by saying when you integrate MetaMask, for example, the average user doesn't even know about MetaMask or know how to use it. So the simplest way to get this in the hands of the public would be the way we've implemented it right now, by making it public, as long as you have the shareable URL. And as far as authentication in the future, maybe making it persistent and allowing users to view their past shared images, for example, or galleries. That's not something we have decided on implementing just yet, but it is maybe something we can think about while keeping the UX flow, I guess, simple for the average user to use. So that's kind of a challenge for the future.
Yeah, so to add a little bit more on that, if we could store private keys inside the shortcut, in that way we could use some form of Ethereum account, and data could be stored on public keys, but then you're handling private keys. So you're sending your private key to a certain server which handles all the backend work. You don't have such a service on your iOS device. So that's kind of, well, are you sending your private keys to an API server? Would you do that? And for now, the answer is that's not too smart.
Yeah. One last question from me. If you had more time, or I guess after the hackathon ends, do you have any plans on where to take the project, or would you have added any additional features?
I think I can take this from, I think as far as the front-end UI, like the gallery you see and the images, currently we're allowing photos and just general media to be uploaded. and to be seen on the gallery. And I think in the future, if we expand on that feature and making it more rich, except for instead of just being able to share the URL, for example, adding a native share button to share directly with your contacts, or adding to it by making other file formats available too. So expanding on the gallery UI front end, I guess, is the next steps for making it a bit more usable. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, that's great, guys. I love the UI, love the branding. Great job.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks.
Great work, Team Nabari. Now the Zoom meeting, the Zoom admin will demote you to attendees, where you could choose to either stay and keep watching, or leave the Zoom meeting. Up next, we have Team Moat. Moat, you'll have 4 minutes to present, followed by 3 minutes of Q&A.
Yes, thank you. I think more people should build things. Let's start with the assumption that a world with more creators is a better place. Web 2 connects one creator to n users. There's no upper bound. N creators together produce n squared points of contact. So maybe we don't want infinite scale. More Web 2 builders results in too much information to filter properly. Content creators resort to cheap tricks for attention. Data streams reduce in quality, but deliver similar dopamine, and users become complacent in their gradual self-lobotomization. Low-quality, attention-seeking information streams break bridges that could form between communities, but this really doesn't need to happen. When Bitcoin maxis and Ethereans collide on Twitter, communication devolves into memes and name-calling. We should really talk about the beautiful tech we're both building. Social media should build bridges between disparate communities. Increased read and write bandwidth during collisions could produce more helpful dialogue. Let's summarize. More people should build things, but scale is the enemy. Shard collisions can be positive, but only with radical read and write access to each other. So, let's build it. Introducing Moat, podcast-style one-on-one voice chat social media. You can have a maximum of 140 friends, your ideas are intellectual property with value, and users filter information. Your account is an ERC 1155 smart contract. You have 140 friendship tokens to give out. Your friends are tokenized, tradable, and scarce. Good conversations are minted as ERC 1155 NFTs, and these contracts hold tokens that can also be sold on a sigmoidal bonding curve. Only your friends can invest in your content, and then investors' friends can listen and invest. In this way, users filter the information. So, this is an ambitious project. What did we finish during the hackathon? Well, keeping track of your friends is something that's important once the network has scaled a little bit. Since we're small, the minimum viable product involves speculation on the value of content. If people use the DApp, and we see content with long-lasting value rank highest, we'll know we should build out our token-based friendship system. Here's how it looks. You have a live feed of posts ranked by their current value. Right here, you can speculate on the long-term value of any content you see. There's a page where you can upload and pin podcast-style conversations to IPFS using NFT.storage. Posting content costs a small fee, which funds development of the project. And you can see here the new content is posted. This is my first Solidity project, so the code is probably cursed. Flex your coding skills by sending a push request. If you're not a developer, head to withmoat.com and give us your email. We'll invite you to our Discord, let you know when we launch to test nets, and then delete your email forever. And lastly, happy hard fork. Let's keep building things. I think more people should.
Thanks for the presentation, Team Moat. Now we're going to move on to 3 minutes of Q&A.
This is a bit of an interesting idea. I must admit. I think I still need to kind of wrap my head around this. But how do you intend the feed to kind of function in that sense? And is that available only to your network of friends in that regard, or are you planning on broadening that? And is that, and how does curation kind of work for a field like that?
Yeah, good question. Obviously, if we're doing this on the blockchain, then every single, piece of content that is on the platform is going to be publicly available. So if we end up building any sort of filtering or anything, it's just going to happen on the front end. And so the idea is, eventually, if we have people who use it, the only content that you will get would be the content that your friends have fractional ownership of. It could be content that they created, and that way you could buy into it in an earlier stage if you believe in it. If it's not content that they created themselves, it's content that they believe in enough to maybe spend a bit of their money and buy one of these tokens sold on a bonding curve. And I think the interesting dynamic here is like, for an idea to propagate across the network, it has to be filtered by like a pretty large number of people to get from like maybe point A to point B. And the shortest route is maybe like 7 different people between those two. So I'm thinking like this is a system where like these smaller, richer communities kind of emerge naturally rather than kind of just trying to force these things to happen. Does that sort of make sense?
It does. Thanks for that one. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I was kind of impressed with the presentation, and then I realized it's about podcasts, so you definitely have like the right voice and equipment for that. One question that I had was one about the bonding curve itself, right? Is it really like a bonding curve where you have access to the liquidity anytime if you ever want to sell this token back? Or is it more like a tiered sale, as we're seeing across NFT projects these days? And the second one would be, I guess, a bit more rationalization around the accounts itself being an 1155 rather than just being an address, right? Mostly around, I guess I get the idea of these being tokens, but then wouldn't your followers be very much market driven, like, right? Like people be trading these tokens that represent following you. So yeah, just open questions, I guess.
Yeah, so we'll kind of start on the bonding curve. If you're familiar with like Bancor, Bancaor, I've never actually heard it pronounced, so I think Bancor. We use a very similar model. So I just modeled a sigmoidal equation, and because it's a ERC 1155 contract, we have one token in the contract that is scarce. It has just a supply of one. And but in the same contract, there's another token that you can speculate on. That's sort of how the bonding curve mechanics work. Obviously, you have a bonding curve, you're going to subject yourself to susceptibility to front running attacks. So we have some ideas to, once we deploy to testnet, try to build things like a gas limit so someone can't front run purchasing on the bonding curve and kind of steal your money that way. But I don't know how it's going to look. There might be a lot of problems here, and we have to do some testing before we're ready to deploy to mainnets. And to move on to your question about why we want to have the accounts be ERC 1155 contracts also. So yes, because a friendship is technically tradable. There might be money involved. It might be someone with more money might have access to more people. But I think that's like sort of how things work in the real world as well. So the great thing about having maybe a contract hold the friendships is we could make it so it's opt-in. If one of my friends wants to sell our friendship to someone else, then I want to be able to have to approve that, right? And maybe that's a really good thing. Maybe that will bring me in contact with people who are, maybe more important or more connected in my network, right?
Cool. No, yeah. Definitely, I think these are good points to think more about. I love the project. Like, are you planning on going further after the hackathon? Like, to see this in front of users would be really cool to see.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the first launch of something that I want to turn into basically a startup. So we're recruiting devs. I don't know what I'm doing, so please help me. And yeah, I'm definitely going to continue this project and try to turn it into something something pretty good. The real end goal is to kind of remove MetaMask from the equation completely and turn it into a mechanism to onboard people into Web3 very easily.
Very nice. And one last note, maybe you have already, but watch Vitalik's talk from ETC. It might be super inspirational.
All right, thank you. I will do that.
Okay, great job, Timo. The admin will now be demoting you to an attendee where you could choose whether you want to hop off the call or continue watching. Up next, we have Team Whiptail. You'll have 4 minutes to present, followed by 3 minutes of Q&A, and I'll pull up the video for you.
Hi guys, yeah, that'd be great, awesome. Hi, my name's Orlando and I'm here to tell you about Whiptail DAO, a forecasting DAO that harnesses the wisdom of the crowd. So it is a well-documented fact within the field of forecasting that the average of a group of forecasters' predictions is, over a long enough time frame, better than any individual set of forecasts. The process of averaging out the forecasts will reduce the effect of mistakes in any single forecaster's model, leading to a more accurate and robust forecast. We therefore propose a forecasting DAO to take advantage of this fact. The DAO would work as follows. A group of forecasters all create forecasts for an event and send them to a smart contract. The overall forecast would then be found as an average of all the individuals' forecasts. We believe that there would be interest in buying these forecasts from various organizations, including hedge funds, bookies, governments, and even other DAOs. Additionally, the information could be used to trade in prediction markets directly. Profits can then be distributed via another smart contract to all participants. Public key cryptography is used to keep the overall forecast private to everyone except the buyer to ensure their IP is valuable to them. To ensure that the forecasters in the DAO are all high quality, we need a way to test their ability in an on-chain trustless manner. We therefore propose a forecasting reputation score that is associated with your Ethereum address, which you can build up over time. We can create a cutoff reputation score of at least X in order to qualify to forecast for the DAO. To allow people to build up their scores, we propose a series of prediction competitions where users predict various events that will occur in the future and receive positive or negative points depending on how close they are to the true answer when the event occurs. This will be done through a commit reveal smart contract. Building the core functionality of this mechanism was our focus during the hackathon, which involved the core smart contracts, the front end, and the decentralized storage on Filecoin. Jack will now demo the website where answers can be submitted to a range of questions, and depending on how you do, will lead to increases or decreases in your reputation score.
Kick off the project. So we have here some questions which we asked to the community. So we have here, what is your favorite number? We have the time it ends, we have the lower bound, we have the upper bound, we have the total predictions on what would the best number would be. We have the same one here, how many goals scored in the World Cup final, how much total ether we burned. We have here a finished one, which displays all of the final predictions on a graph. If a user wants to submit what their favorite number is, they can hit submit here, confirm. While that's confirming, we'll go over to the leaderboard. This shows off the reputation. Each user starts off with 100 reputation. It goes up or down based on how well they do in each question. Here's the about page, essentially the README document of our GitHub file. Still waiting on that Ropsten transaction. If I connect my wallet here, because I'm an admin, this is where I'm able to submit questions. This is how these come about. Still waiting on the transaction. it's just passed. There you go. We have 2 predictions on this one. Hope you enjoyed. This was Jack with Whiptail.
Well, yeah, I hope you liked that presentation, and yeah, I'm looking forward to your questions or feedback.
From research. I'm going to give an overview.
Okay, thank you. We're now going to be moving on to the Q&A, 3 minutes.
People generally like the UI in some way, shape, and sense. I don't know why, but it was in some regard pretty academic, if one might call it that. But in that regard, just kind of curious as to the notion of like how you basically feel that whether, I mean, there's specific kinds of questions or categories that you feel averaging might be helpful for or not in some regard, and whether keeping things like private in terms of having a commit reveal scheme is going to be useful, or whether you feel laying things out in a more publicly available fashion, as you kind of typically see in prediction markets, is going to be more helpful in essentially gauging some of the crowd.
Yeah, so good question. So I think like the important thing is, if we're going to get buyers for these forecasts, it's important to keep it private, or there's just a free rider problem where anyone else can just view the forecast which is bought by someone else. So I think that's like pretty important to have. And then the sorts of questions, it's all sorts of things. So like we're thinking like I'm like a statistician myself, and like forecasts go beyond like point predictions, but it's actually about like the full distribution over event outcomes. So for example, like it could be like a question that we were thinking about was like what's the average gas price 2 weeks after the EIP 159 update, and then users would submit like a distribution from 0 to 1,000, say, and then this distribution will be averaged, and that allows, so you can see the risk of it going very high, and that's actually very important for like hedging tail risk, because say smart contracts will break if it goes over 100, if a gas goes over 100. It's very important for different organizations to be able to sort of gauge tail risk and suitably hedge against that. So yeah, those sorts of questions, then trading questions, COVID cases, like just any sort of question, any sort of like predictive distribution, which would be useful in so many different fields, bookies as well, sports predictions as well.
Cool. I very much like the element of the reputational system being implemented here. I guess what keeps popping in my mind is exactly the relationship between this forecasting system and the prediction markets out there today. Right?
So the prediction markets today allows you to make money from predicting events, but and so like we could produce these average predictions from these group of people and then use that to directly bet in prediction markets, and essentially work like a hedge fund, the wisdom of the crowd working together to provide superior returns. But I think these forecasts go far beyond these single point predictions in prediction markets. Like these full distributions could be used by so many different organizations in ways that it would take like a team of like quants, like a lot of expertise to actually use the knowledge, like, and the hedge funds have like a lot of knowledge to be able to use these distributions. Essentially they can they can outsource their prediction, their sort of forecasting engine to a decentralized group of forecasters anywhere in the world who all needs an Ethereum address. They can work fully anonymously, but they could be the best forecasters in the world for, say, football scores, whatever it is, which could then be sold to bookies in that example.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I really, really like about this is we are seeing more and more of these credit score systems or methodologies.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like Vitalik's talk at FCC sort of really, this is actually what motivated me to do this. I think it really connects into social media and Arve's discussion. I think social credit scores, although that sounds quite dystopian, like the Chinese regime version, but I think like an on-chain version of it, it's like, it's going to be the core to social media on blockchains, because you need somewhere for your reputation for yourself. And if it's fully anonymous, we need an on-chain version that's not just proof of stake. Proof of reputation is the next version of proof of stake, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess this combined with like proof of humanity and all the good stuff, this can become
exactly, yeah. Yeah, I think we would definitely need like Claros's proof of humanity integration in order to people sign like civil attack addresses.
Nice. No, the more I think about it, it's actually really exciting.
Awesome, thank you.
Looking at I guess issuance of like lifecycle management for entities in that sense by and see how that effectively work. But yeah, that certainly looks very good on this.
Great, thanks a lot, man.
And let's bring it to mainnet.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, great work. It's time. The Zoom admin will now demote you to an attendee, where you could either keep watching or leave the meeting. Up next, we have team dump.org. You'll have 4 minutes to present, followed by 3 minutes of Q&A.
It seems that Hackathon is getting to an end. My name is Pedro. I joined with Miguel. We are both from Portugal, and we decided to start to build DUMP protocol. It's a decentralized universal networking protocol, and the idea is to apply this to my platform, which is dSound, in the future. So we started to build a protocol that enables anyone or any developer to start building decentralized application. The main idea was to build the grounds for dSound to have a data layer that is not connected to any blockchain. dSound started with another with a blockchain which was Steam at that time. And so I learned with that process that it's not the best way to be reliant on just one source for your data, and also for the users is not a very good option. So I decided to build something that where the users would stay in control of their data all the time, and that's DUMP. DUMP is using technologies like IPFS, OrbitDB, Ethereum wallets, the HD wallets. Any VM blockchain can be connected and can monetize or build a business model around that. And it's also connected with Web3 storage and NFT storage in Pinata and Filecoin through those services. And also ENS is possible to be used to register, for the users to register their own names and use those names for social networks. For instance, if you imagine that you could register one name and use that name for YouTube, Facebook, and any other social media that you use. And the most important thing is actually owning your data and sharing your data with other dApps that will present that data in a special way. So if you want to learn more about this project, and we wrote a bunch of stuff, just go to our repo, and there is a docs repo there. I will do a short demo right now. I will change to my screen. And here we have side by side one normal browser here on the left and one incognito browser on the right. We'll be creating an instance, and here we will log in with MetaMask. We will choose MetaMask Connect Wallet, and this will show us a signature request, and we sign it, and here we are. We have an Ethereum account that is connected to this browser instance. And right now we are not able to edit my profile because it's read-only, because it's not my account there. And you can see my posts here. So on this right side, I will log in with my account. It will generate my Ethereum address, and now I can write something here and edit this, but I can also make a post. Hello from HackFS demo video. Posts. And you can see that it shows here, and it shows here as well. So everything gets synchronized all the time, and that's what we prepared. Just take a deeper look on our documentation, and thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thank you for the presentation. Now we'll be moving on to 3 minutes of Q&A.
Definitely an interesting way of kind of doing and presenting things. I generally like the idea of using DIDs in an agnostic fashion and linking those to social profiles. So that's super cool. Which I guess DID methods do you support today, and how are you thinking about, I guess, lifecycle management for these? Are you kind of basically enabling users to kind of store trusted data and credentials in an Orbit DB instance that they choose, or how exactly is that controlled by the user?
Well, the DID is generated when the user chooses an account. So we have an easy login that we implemented, like inspired on Hedgehog from Audios. We created something different that doesn't need a central server to store the encrypted package. The digital identity or the decentralized identity doesn't need that kind of where the keys are generated to just for your social interactions, right? It's not there are no keys stored on the browser for Ethereum account. So the Ethereum account is just like your username or something like that, and it's stored on the browser so that the user can interact it with the browser just as a Web 2 application without MetaMask being involved or having to log in all the time to approve transactions. So I think it's super cool to onboard new users without knowing what the key is or MetaMask or anything like that, because there is no money involved in this part of the social media network, like for posting and so on. And then after that, there is a very big data layer that we developed for all the kinds of networking, like social networking or professional networking requirements. We tried to make something that can be applied to any social media or any professional media sharing application.
Yeah, my question was more along the lines of whether it was DID web or support for JWTs and stuff. But no, I see your point. Did you make all of that during this hackathon? I mean, it sounds like a pretty extensive project, but super cool though.
Yeah, we tried to build the most part of it during the hackathon. We couldn't finish. There are some things that we are still developing right now, and we will, because we want to finish this so that this sound can incorporate this project as the main data layer. And it's an open source project. Anyone can join. If any developers want to join in, just ping us on GitHub. It's an open project. We want to have all the help we can to build this and make this for the community.
Yeah, I think I would like to make a note, because there's quite some thought about regarding privacy, resilience to censorship, and easiness to use. and to build a decentralized application, because when you see some dApp around there, it has some sort of component of centralization around, and we want to build the basis of a social network that doesn't have that compromise. So yeah, and also the resilience to data and the replication of data and availability. Yeah, there's quite some thought about on this layer.
Well, I think we're kind of like wrapping up on the time available. I was going through the GitHub, and yeah, it's amazing the amount of work that you folks managed to do in this last week. So congrats for that. I guess one comment in general, like it is a very large scope project, which I think is also a very relevant project these days. And I wonder if before this whole project can surface, if there are any potential libraries or components that could be released, because I think a lot of the ecosystem today are thinking about this, and yeah, this could be something that benefits a lot of people.
We already released the identity packages. If you go to npm.js, there you can see dump identity is there already, and also dump data, which is the package that has the data layer that we were able to build during HackFS. It's already also released. People can start working today. If they want to build a social network today, they can. Maybe after this presentation, they can start building it. No problem.
Really?
And we are really keen to put this forward. So we are thinking about going to try out some IPFS or Falcon grants for this project. I really think that it's very interesting for people to have some ground layer like this. I know how hard it is to build these things. I've been building on IPFS for 4 years already. So I know how hard it is, and I know that this helps a lot of people. So I'm very, very, very happy about this project.
Congrats, folks.
Thank you.
All right. Great work. The Zoom admin will now demote you to attendees, and you could choose whether you want to keep watching or leave the meeting. Now we'll be going on a short break, 10 minutes. Judges, make sure to mute and turn off your cameras, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Welcome back. We'll actually just, judges, please turn your cameras back on. You might have to wait a little bit though. Okay. So next up we have team Shadow Supercoder equals the game. You'll have 4 minutes to present and 3 minutes of Q&A. They're not ready yet, so we might have to move on. Okay, we'll wait a bit to see if they're ready, and then after that, if they're still not ready, we'll move on.
I'll probably just say this out loud. So can Team Unstoppable Clubs raise your hand? How about Team Supercoder the game? Okay. Mohit, what team are you on? Okay. So next up is Unstoppable Clubs. Ready.
Okay. Okay. First, well, next up we have Team Unstoppable Clubs. You guys have,
Hi guys.
Yeah, 4 minutes to present, followed by 3 minutes of Q&A.
Hey, so we are Team Unstoppable Clubs. I'm just going to share my screen. And let me know if you are able to hear me. Censorship. And we were inspired by Unstoppable Clubs.
Yeah, it's good.
And we have built. Okay, I'm just going to let the video continue now. A solution for creators to publish their content to their subscribers without any kind of censorship. And we were inspired by Vitalik's lecture on building unstoppable apps. And we decided to build something that creators can use to have closed communities where they can publish their posts directly to their community. Our team consists of me, Mohit Janwani, and my fellow developer, Lakshya Maini. What we have built is a way to push your content to Textile in an encrypted way. And then the key that we encrypt this content with is then encrypted with the public key of all the members and then pushed to IPFS as well. Because the key has been encrypted with the public key of all the members, only the members are able to decrypt the secret key for that content and able to see the file. We have our own smart contract on the Polygon blockchain, which keeps track of all the posts that have been published for a single club. And we use unlock protocol to manage the memberships, and as well as graph protocol to index all the posts and the clubs. So now I'm going to show you a demo of what we have built. This is our beautiful website. And here you can see that I am connected using my MetaMask wallet. And I'm going to go to the dashboard, and I don't right now have any clubs. So I'm going to create a club. I'm going to make it HackFS, and the amount is going to be 0.2 Matic, and there's only going to be 100 members in the club, right? And then I'm going to create, and now I get a MetaMask signing pop-up. I sign the pop-up, and my club is then created using this with this address. And I can refresh it to see what are my clubs, and you can see that this is my club, HackFS, and this is the address of the club. I can then start uploading content to this club, and it's going to encrypt this file and then send it to textile, and then it's going to encrypt the secret key of this file and then send it to the members. And you can see that here I am going to put a transaction on the blockchain about the post, and this post is then put on the blockchain where anybody can see what the post is, but nobody can actually read the file. So as a subscriber, I can go to the site and I can see all the clubs that are right now with the number of spots that are left. I can click subscribe, and it will ask for my encryption public key. And then it will create a transaction on the unlock protocol. And after the transaction is done, is confirmed, I will be able to go to my dashboard where I can see all the clubs that I have subscribed to. And once I have created a post, the subscriber will be able to go and see this post in his dashboard, where he can click on view. And you can see that the MetaMask is asking to decrypt the secret key. And after it's been decrypted, he will be able to view the file here. So in our project, we wanted to have a distributed, decentralized way of sharing content with viewers. We can then sell the memberships as NFTs so that only a limited number of memberships are ever minted, and the top creators can earn more money from the price of their membership increasing. Hi, can I stop sharing now?
Yeah. Thanks for the presentation. Now we're going to be moving on to 3 minutes of Q&A.
I really like the focus on creating smaller community DAOs, especially around creators and especially around focus around content. I guess one thing that came to mind and is curious to ask is, if you have one of these clubs and you have 10 members in them, any one of these 10 members can view the content, right? So anybody can join this club and then just sign and then view the contents within the club. It doesn't have like a group verification of sorts, right?
No, not at the moment. So actually what happens is we encrypt the files with the public key of all the members. So we encrypt the file with the secret key, and then the secret key is encrypted with public key of all the members. So we need to, when we want to start trading of memberships, we need to add an additional step where the whenever the member changes, the club creator will have to approve it so that he can view the past posts as well, because the club creator will have to then encrypt the secret key with his public key and post it to the IPFS.
Okay. But if it's encrypted with all of the members' keys, how do you decrypt it with only a single member signature?
Yeah, so it's basically, so suppose I have my key and I have 10 members in the club. And when I am creating the post, I encrypt the secret key of the file with the public key of the 10 members. So I will have 10 different data in that IPFS file. And then I have to, when somebody trades his membership with somebody else, then I have to go back and encrypt all the files with his public key as well. So that will be an additional step when we make these memberships tradable. But there are actually new Cypher and some other technologies who are coming up with solutions. There's nobody that does it on EVM right now, but I know few people are working on the solution. So later we can actually use those to make it more scalable.
Cool. I gotta get it better now. It's I guess what I really like about the project is the convenience of being able to form these groups and have this encrypted content easily shareable, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we participated in Hack Money as Buy Me a Crypto Coffee. And this is just one of our features that we are building. And we started it in this hackathon itself. And we are aiming to build like a Gumroad, completely Web3 Gumroad, basically.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Super cool presentation, and that's in that regard. Yeah, was a little was kind of taken a little back on the key management piece, which is something I still have to wrap my head around a bit in some regard. But I think I get the gist of what you're doing. But in that sense, do you see that there? What kind of updates would you basically want to do on the dashboard, so to speak, from where things stand? What features do you feel you have not yet been able to incorporate as part of what the work that you've done as part of HackFS?
Yeah, so this is more like a proof of concept, and there needs to be a lot of different integrations to enable this to go to production. For instance, right now, when we have a new member join, he cannot view the past post because we don't have the key encrypted with his public key. And the other one is there's a lot of UX improvements that could be done to basically make the whole process much easier. Like for instance, right now we do multiple transactions on the front end, and we could deploy a smart contract to basically just have one transaction instead of multiple transactions from the front end. So I think in both of these ways, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done to take it to production.
Awesome. Super cool stuff. Yeah, looking forward to see how this will pan out.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Great work, team Unstoppable Clubs. The Zoom admin will now demote you to an attendee, where you could choose whether you want to hop off the call or continue watching the judging session. Up next, we have team footprints. Team footprints, you have 4 minutes to present, followed by 3 minutes of a Q&A session.
I hope my screen is visible.
Oh, we can see your screen.
All right. Let's have a look at live demonstration of our decentralized application footprints. Since we have deployed our smart contracts on Polygon network, we have connected our MetaMask wallet to Mumbai testnet. In the upload section, the user can select the category of the NFT which he wants to create, that is a memorial NFT or a photograph NFT. Here in the memorial section, we have already a memory from the event of inauguration of Statue of Unity, which was created by the organization of Statue of Unity. Let's go to my profile section. Here we have an option to make the NFT premium. After making it premium, if any user wants to create a memorial at this location, he will have to pay charges to the organization of Statue of Unity. After making the NFT premium, the option to make it premium again vanishes from here, and the NFT, that is the memory, appears under the premium section. I have now logged in to user one's account. Under the memorial section, he would be able to see all the memorials that are present at that location. And under the premium section, he would be able to see the premium NFTs at that location. Only one premium NFT can exist at a particular location. Now, let us upload a memory from the user one's account. The user needs to pay 1 Matic to the owner of the organization of Statue of Unity. On completion of transaction, 1 Matic gets deducted from his account and it is added to the organization's account address. Now, under the memorial section, the user would be able to see his memory along with the memory of the organization of Statue of Unity. To check out the second category, that is photography, I have logged into a photographer's account. And to save our time, I have already uploaded a photograph from his account. The user can go to my profile section and click on this button to add his photograph to Marketplace. The photo now appears under the Marketplace tab. I have now logged in to buyer's account. Whenever a buyer will visit the place where the photograph NFT was created, he would be able to see this photo under the Marketplace section. By hitting on this icon, he can pay the amount to the owner of the NFT, and then the NFT would be transferred to his account. As you can see, the owner's address have been changed and the amount have been deducted from his account, and the NFT is now been staged under the profile of the buyer's account. To check out the feature of prohibiting counterfeit NFTs, I have logged into imposter's account. If the imposter goes to the photography tab and takes the screenshot of this image and then downloads the image, and now if he wants to upload the duplicate image, that is a screenshot, and then if he tries to upload it, the user will be prompted with an alert message that this is prohibited. You are trying to create a counterfeit NFT. These are some of the features which we wanted to have in our app, but due to lack of time, we couldn't implement them. The first one was when converting a memorial to premium NFT, we wanted to allow the user to set the radius of area within certain limit and then pay the contract owner to make it premium, and the rate would be directly proportional to the radius of area he selects. And the second one was create a virtual visit at some location like wildlife places, because some photographers click some wildlife pictures and then the users can see them by purchasing the virtual tour tickets, and then people can enjoy the memorials and photographs at different locations sitting at home. Yep.
Thanks for the presentation. Now we'll be moving on to 3 minutes of Q&A.
So I gotta say, I really love the project name, and the UI is also very much on point. It's a bit of a light comment, but there's this one saying that I had in my mind for many years, like take only photos, leave only footprints. And it seems like your project perfectly captures that. The one curiosity that I had is, how are you doing the counterfeit mechanism here?
Yeah, so like the NFT.storage provides storing the properties under the metadata. So what we are doing is that along with the metadata, like the name of the NFT and caption related to it, we are storing the location as well as we are storing the perceptual hash value of that image. So what perceptual hash value, then it calculates the Hamming distance between two hashes, and then it gets captured, like if some logo changes there in the image, or maybe the image is blurred a bit and then re-uploaded, or if it's converted to black and white, all these things gets captured.
Oh, that's actually interesting. I guess one of the reasons why I ask is there seems to be like an increased demand for photography in the NFT space. It's one of these underappreciated mediums that now is definitely getting a spotlight. So I would imagine a lot of photography-oriented NFT platforms coming out soon. So it seems like you folks are thinking of the right thing at the right time. So great project.
Thanks a lot.
Super cool presentation. Yeah, I am very curious about the the aspect that you mentioned around the Hamming distance between the hashes. I did not anticipate hash functions would function that way, but looks pretty cool, I guess, in some regard. But in terms of, I guess, the way you're kind of thinking about I mean, yeah, the way you're kind of thinking about creating these as NFTs. I mean, do you want? Do you feel that people would basically want to showcase and create these as premium NFTs in that regard? I'm just curious as to what the motivation would be for a specific user to kind of make that a premium NFT.
Yes, like see, then if we consider if like the organization, like recently the inauguration took place. So at that time, if the organization of Statue of Unity converted their NFT into premium, now whenever the tourists visit that place, and if they want to have their memorial being installed permanently there, like concrete and a memorial everyone cannot make it. But if we try to make a digital memorial that would stay at that place forever, and whenever some other people visit that same place, so they would be able to see that this person visited so and so place at that time. So basically that moment is your NFT at that particular location. So the organization would be getting benefited when the people create their memorials in that particular area.
Got it. No, makes sense. Cool. Sounds super interesting. Would be nice to kind of see a few of these actually get some spotlight, and yeah, organizations get their due, or governments get their due in that regard. But yeah, I really like the idea.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Great work, Team Footprints.
Okay,
The
thank you.
The Zoom admin will now demote you to attendees where you could choose whether you want to hop off the call or keep watching the rest of it. Up next, we have Team Descrow. You'll have 4 minutes of presentation, followed by 3 minutes of Q&A. Looks like, he's here now.
All right, can you all hear me?
Yeah, you're clear.
All right, wonderful. Let me know if there's any sound issues. Oh, I apologize, I didn't hit the button. All right. Hey, my name is Bradley. This is Roberto. We're Descrow. Basically, we built a decentralized escrow system because we saw that a lot of developers were getting scammed when they built projects in anonymous services like Discord, Reddit, Telegram, stuff like that. So the system is pretty simple. All you're going to do is first connect a wallet. So I am the payer, and Roberto is going to be the payee. So what he's going to do is upload a file or the code that he wants to essentially sell to the buyer. So what we'll do is we'll put the payer address in here, and then we're going to fetch the payee address to put it in here, and then the specific amount, so the amount that the developer requests for the job they did. So what we do first is we create the agreement. So what this does is it creates a pairing in smart contract state. So you're not creating a new smart contract every time. And it creates a connection between the payee, the payer, and the specific amount based on the wallet addresses. So there you go. You'll see that the smart contract was created. And you can also see that there is updated deposited amounts. We actually did implement logic so that if someone only submitted part of the full amount and tries to download the files, they actually can't. But because it takes an extra minute to go through, we aren't actually going to go through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deposit the full amount. So this means that the developer can upload the code, the full deposit is ready to go. And then once that swap occurs, we can download the necessary file on my end. Okay, there you go. And the transaction has gone through. So Roberto,
Okay.
I think we're good.
My time to shine. Let's see. I'm gonna share the screen. So now I'm the PG. I'm gonna connect my wallet. Okay, this is my address now. So now I'm gonna have to upload the file, the payer. I indicate the payer because I may have different agreements with different wallets. So I'm gonna upload for this one. I will upload as a PDF in this case. You can see here MetaMask as one transaction. So basically, as we explained, yeah, the payment has been done first, but it could be that I can upload the file first and then the payment is done, or half the payment is done, then I upload the file and then the rest of the payment. It doesn't matter. The assets won't reach the other end until everything is in place. So now the transaction is done. You should see on your end. I'm going to stop sharing to see that the file is there.
There we go. Okay, so what you see is the file has been uploaded on my end. So now what we'll do is we'll release the payment, meaning that, you know, we've through a Zoom call or whatever, you know, I verified the code, we went through it, we saw them upload the file to our Descro system. And so now that's been uploaded, I'll release the payment to the developer. So they'll receive it. And then what we'll actually be able to do is download the file on our end. So whatever Roberto uploaded, we'll be able to see on our side. So the last thing to do is we just want to end the escrow contract. What this does is it moves it out of state so that the two wallets can come back together and create a new agreement in the future. So then Roberto and I can do business again. And that's basically it.
Yeah, nice.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. Now you'll be moving on to 3 minutes of Q&A.
Sounds good.
I really dig the idea of monetizing code contributions. I guess personally, I'm thinking more on the creative coding side of things, but this is also like a straight up transaction. I feel like it can be used by a lot of folks. Two questions that I do have. One is, I guess the encryption of the code itself, the file, right? Like, is this uploaded to IPFS? Can't somebody maybe inspect the contract storage and pull out the CID some way? And the second is it really the case that if two parties create a swap, no other swaps can be created by those parties until this first swap is concluded?
Yeah, so to answer the first question, yeah, we're using all IPFS methods. So whatever encryption is standardized in there, we're using. The second question, the reason why we made it that way is, let's say that you have one transaction where you have these two parties that interact based on their wallet addresses, but the first guy tries to screw over the other guy. That's stored in state. So the reason why we have it set up that way is you essentially at the end of it want to shake hands, say that was a good transaction by hitting that end escrow button. Now the biggest problem, right, is the UX. It's out of order, you know, stuff is confusing. Ideally, the end escrow would happen on both sides. So it'd be like an actual handshake.
Gotcha. And I guess like one thought that came to mind as you were presenting it, the code could also potentially, I guess, live on unlock protocol or something like it. And the code could even be an NFT, right? That gets minted, that gets swapped. So that's all to say, like a lot of ideas came to mind as you were presenting. So I think the project has a lot of potential in the future.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, we also want to make it in such a way that it's asynchronous. So we don't actually have to deposit and, you know, upload the code at the same time. We have ideas with like a headless browser or integrating Git, stuff like that. But yeah, it's just literally just to prevent anonymous developers in these Discord groups from getting screwed over.
Totally. Cool project. Congrats.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad managed to kind of think about a different direction in some regard when it comes to collaborative sharing in escrows. But the question that I kind of had was around the notion of, yeah, was it essentially the the fact that Adrian was alluding to before, where you do not want, I guess, one of the parties to kind of upload their content as part of the same transaction as when they kind of set up the escrow in that regard, and basically prevent them from tracking the CID, or is there a reason as to why you had a separate flow where you basically had people agree to the escrow and then get people to deposit, I guess, the amount and the actual code?
Good question. So we actually wanted to implement that so you could do milestone based. So one of the big things in anonymous, because I've been screwed over, this is why we built it. You want to do milestone based. So let's say that we do 20% of the project, we'll upload that to IPFS, you deposit a specific amount, then we can fulfill that arrangement and you can get that 20%, right? So you're actually paying for the exact amount of code that you're getting. So we just left it in there as a way that we could build on top of it for milestone base.
That makes a lot of sense. Agreed on that front. Yeah, would actually be very interesting to kind of see how that could even kind of go with integration with Git. That would be that might be something that could potentially work essentially with Unlock, as Adrian was
exactly.
So yeah, that'd be awesome. Very cool.
What's the other thing? Radical.
Yeah.
I haven't looked too much into Radical, but I feel like this could be like a perfect match, maybe.
Radical.
Yeah.
Do you know what they do?
It's like a decentralized version of GitHub, basically. I'll put the link.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, it's based on Git.
Yeah, it is.
Perfect.
The part of that, the review happening later on and having more of like a step-by-step milestone base, I think that makes a lot of sense for sure. Very cool.
Yeah, exactly. Appreciate it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Great work, Team Decrypt. Now the Zoom admin will demote you to an attendee where you could either choose to leave the call or keep watching. Up next, we have Team Babel. Yeah, Babel, you'll have 4 minutes to present and followed by 3 minutes of Q&A.
This is Babel. Babel is an on-chain generative and collaborative NFT project. At its core is a ERC 721 NFT contract called Words. Each Words NFT corresponds to a unique, randomly generated 5-letter word. The token ID is the word. The last 5 bytes of the token ID are the ASCII encoding of the word. So each word, 5 letters, all lowercase, randomly generated and unique. There's 12 million possible words. We use Chainlink VRF to generate with a custom algorithm that will allow us to find words towards the end of the minting process. This is on Hard Hat Network because it takes too long for the demo to do the actual ring VRF. So this is how I would do it. I would request a word. There'd be a request ID. The VRF would come back. And in this case, I'm going to fulfill that request myself. And we'll keep going as we wait for that. So each word costs 1 Babel token to mint. The Babel token is the core currency of everything that happens across the Babel contracts. Words can be sold back to a vault contract for a rate that's worse than they bought them for from the Words contract. And conversely, users can purchase specific words that are held in the vault, again, at a worse rate than they would by minting randomly generated words. And Babel tokens are sold on a bonding curve with a time decay. Okay, so what can we do with words? The main thing is the collaborative part of Babel. So a lyric is a sequence of 3 5-letter words, and users decide that they want to replace one of these words and update this main lyric. They do that through this auction process where we make sure that lyrics can be updated more often than a fixed number of blocks. So that's the minimum length of the auction. So I pick one of my words. I'll pick the one that I just minted. I'm going to pick which position I want to replace. So I'm going to pick the 3rd position, which is position 2. and I'll pick a bid, which is how much of the Babel token I'm willing to spend for the right, not only to update the sort of public-facing lyric, but to get the corresponding NFT, which is unique. So we'll place the bid. In this case, we don't have other bidders, and I have a short circuit button that will just end the round for me. So you see we've replaced the last word with that new word that we minted, and we got the corresponding NFT. The user does not need to give up the word, so that's important. They just need to own the word at the time of the bid. And again, with the lyrics, the token ID corresponds to the lyric itself. So it's encoded with these 5-byte ASCII encodings with single 0 bytes in between, and this is all at the least significant digits of the token ID.
Oh, thanks for the presentation. You'll now be moving on to the Q&A.
Yeah, I'm very biased. I love all things generative, using on-chain data and collaborative and with multiple participants. So very cool project. Love to see it. I was looking up, there was this old NFT project on Ethereum for forming words. I think it was like syllabus or consonants or something like that, but I couldn't find it. But I definitely see like that's an area that a lot of folks like to explore creatively. I really like the element of you have the individual pieces and then you compose those together into this other, I guess you're calling the lyrics NFTs. It reminded me a little bit of a haiku in some ways.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I guess one question that I had was a bit of a technical one. Well, first of all, technically speaking, I think this kind of NFT project is very relevant for the space. A lot of folks are asking for not yet another copy-paste proof of work project. So even to do like a Twitter thread around the expiration, I think folks would love to see it. The question that I had was the composability of the second NFT, right? There is this 998 composable standard, which is not widely used. So just curious if you had any insights there on how to approach that problem.
I'm actually not familiar with the 998 composable standard.
Let me get a link.
But with regards to the token IDs actually corresponding exactly to the ASCII encodings, you could easily sort of concatenate things or, yeah, just it'd be fairly straightforward to bring things together in some composable way simply by using those ASCII encodings.
Just trying to find the link here real quick.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad people are kind of looking at words again. More so personally biased to look at, in some sense, text-based and textual content as opposed to visual. So I'm glad you're definitely working on something like this in that regard. I guess, I mean, out of curiosity, any particular reason as to why you thought only owners should be the ones participating in auctions as opposed to anyone to kind of help curate and put together cooler, I guess, lyrics in that regard?
I guess I wanted to incentivize this search for interesting words. So I love this idea that there's 11 million of these quote unquote words, but there's sort of much fewer that seem to be intrinsically valuable. So to incentivize people searching for words that they find interesting, or maybe finding interest in words that they would have found disinteresting, to use them in these lyrics and feel like they're contributing to something bigger and feel happy about the words that they've collected. That was sort of my main idea.
Got it. Yeah. It might be interesting to incentivize people for mining words as such and making them available and getting people to pay them for that as well. But No, I see your point as well in some regard, but yeah, so super cool presentation.
Thank you.
I guess pulling on that thread, that is a problem that I've been thinking about as well. Like, if there is, they could probably do like a primary market, like royalty-like system, right? Where utilizing certain, oh wait, no, you only use the words they own, right? So that changes everything. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I guess that's a comment that I had to make. But I'd love to see it. I think this project would be really cool to go to mainnet.
Thank you.
And I'll message you later. I think somebody in Twitter would love to see it.
Great. I appreciate that.
Great work, Team Babel. Now the Zoom admin will demote you, and you could choose whether you want to stay and listen to the call or hop off. Next up, we have Team Shadow Supercoder the game. You'll have 4 minutes to present, followed by 3 minutes of Q&A.
Hi, my name is Kwame. I created the game Shadowy Supercoder. It's built in HTML5. It utilizes IPFS for hosting the game, all the game assets, level editor, save states, things like that. Conceptually, I didn't get to add all the things I really wanted to get in there. I was able to utilize Chainlink for the actual generation of the unique super shadowy characters. They're not currently implemented inside of it, but this is something I'm going to do after. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Like, I spent a lot of the time just building a framework that utilizes IPFS for a lot of the things that are centralized in games. So that's kind of what the hack for me is, splitting where what things are good for, what things were centralized in the game world and what could I decentralize. And I found a good marrying of the two. It also has a level editor. So there's a level editor that will be implemented. So a totally decentralized level editor for games. The whole concept later on is that you could build your levels and then have import them into a game as an NFT or something else, and have people pay to play that level. So other than that, like, this is running on IPFS here, you can see it. And other than that, I'm going to continue to work on it. Thanks for letting me participate, and yeah, bye.
Thanks for the presentation. Now there will be 3 minutes of Q&A.
Is there maybe a implementation or a demo?
Excuse me?
I'm just wondering.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now, like, there is a playable demo of the game. The character itself is just kind of like a placeholder. I wasn't able to get like the game art in. So you can actually play the game. There is game state saving. I did have an issue with the unstoppable domains. I did have an unstoppable domain that was kind of working with it. But like, the character that I was building from an example from Chainlink, I was able to compile the contracts, but I wasn't able to kind of get the UI in. I did, as I kind of said, I spent a lot of time building a framework, and then at the end, I kind of just built a game to kind of make sure that it actually was conceptually working. But my main goal really is to apply for a micro grant and to just carry on the project to the next stage.
Nice. No, I like that you're using the Chainlink VRF. And I know that the Chainlink folks are very much pushing that, so I can imagine that they would be willing to support you exploring this. Yeah, I very much love all things around game engines using web technologies, and especially now with decentralization. So cool stuff.
Thank you.
mean, this actually is the would actually like to see more more things kind of utilize proper gaming, essentially getting gaming elements into Web3 in that regard. Any particular issues in terms of importing other kinds of game assets that you feel people might want to use, or say something of Unity or something from other supported game engines in some regard, and rendering those?
Well, the addressables were easier to implement in Unity, but I wanted to kind of build something that was from, like a blockchain game development first, and not something that was kind of like, oh, let's take an existing engine and then throw blockchain type components onto it. So I felt for a hack, I was like, I had enough time to scrape out the parts of a blockchain first game engine, and I think I kind of did it. But as far as it was more the time, and coming from a centralized game development background, it was trying to think of like what should be on chain and what should be on chain to maximize playability, because that's the problem that I'm seeing with, well, for myself, is that you get to the part where the game is really cool, and then you have all these Web3 things that pop up, and then it totally takes you away from that flow. So I figured that if I could just raffle a game where, oh, a lot of this stuff is hidden, you just have your accounts already connected, you kind of just go through it, and then once you're making the purchases for other characters or assets in the game, that's when that layer came in. So that whole Web 2 to Web 3 thing that was talked about is something I'm also trying to solve. But it was just great having fun using IPFS and Chainlink and all these different things together, and to see how conceptually they work.
Yeah, no, agreed on that front. Trying to basically understand and see whether there could be specific elements about Web3 that make game engines, or specific, again, attributes of game engines, I guess, much more different than what exists today. Yes, one can't probably play around with the physics or elements or things that kind of have to do with specific kinds of rendering, because they do involve a decent bit of computation. But yeah, would actually be a nice area of I guess research, and trying to figure out what about Web3 makes game engines unique, or what attributes could be made unique. But glad you're kind of playing around with those ideas. So sounds awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely second that. And I would even add that I feel like web technologies and JavaScript in general have evolved enough to enable us to realize like a full-on web-based game engine. So to your comment about not plugging Web3 concepts into something like Unity. So it's like a great moment, and without the Web3 explosion to explore this front. And I hope sooner rather than later we have like a full-on Web3 crypto native web-based game experience going. It's really cool.
Hopefully we can continue this on.
For sure.
Great work. And it seems like this is the end of the hackathon session. So I'd like to say thank you to the judges and all the hackers that participated in this session. And goodbye.
Thank you, folks. Thank you, Madi.
Thanks.
Thank you too.
Cheers.